In this video, I'm going to talk about why we need to use Linux. So before learning any cloud or any DevOps tools, just make sure to learn Linux. So because this plays an essential role in DevOps and cloud automations. Because you're going to use you usually launch mostly Linux machines only on cloud. Of course, you do add Windows as well, but mostly Linux. So if you learn the Linux before any DevOps tools and cloud platforms, so it's going to make your life easier. Why do we need to learn Linux? It's an open source. Unlike Windows, it's an open source. So Windows we need to pay money for license. And stability and performance. So it offers stable performance, especially on cloud workloads, and it offers great security. So because it has user privilege separation, so we got SE Linux and firewalls. We can set up IP tables and everything. So it's a secure one. Automation and DevOps friendly. So the tools like Ansible, Kubernetes, Docker. So if you want to use these tools, we mostly run these on Linux as well. Wide ecosystem. So it supports Docker and Kubernetes and other tools. Vendor support. So when it comes to vendor, we got Azure, AWS, GCP, DigitalOcean, Line, and other cloud platforms. So it has huge support and low memory and CPU usage. So if you create an EC2 machine on AWS, so you need a bigger machine. So Linux works smoothly on T2 micro as well, but Windows, it needs at least 4 GB RAM, at least. It doesn't work smoothly with 4 GB. We need 8 GB RIA in reality. So that means you need to spend much more money for Windows. So and it sucks, while using it sucks. But Linux, it works smoothly. Headless operation. So it usually loads without graphical interface. So it works smoothly. Faster boot times. If you start Windows, it takes a bit of time, but Linux, it loads very quickly. So it's faster boot times. And today in this video, I'm gonna explain these basic commands. Basically, what happens when you look at the terminal in the beginning, it looks intimidating and overwhelming. But once you practice these commands, once you use a day-to-day basis, you don't love graphical interface anymore. So you usually use this Linux, this command line only. Even sometimes I do most of the time I use terminal in Mac as well. So let's start learning these basic commands. So for this one, you can create a VM in a local machine, but I would suggest you to create a AWS account and then create a T2 micro. Or it comes on a free tier, so 12 months, so you don't need to pay any single penny. And I don't want to mess up your system with VMware. So if you want to practice, you can do, but for just practice Linux, you can use this EC2. Because if you install a VMware and a VirtualBox and then inside a virtual machine, Linux machine, so it's gonna use your laptop or computer resources. It's gonna eventually slow down your system. So that's why simply you can create a machine in AWS. So once you sign up on AWS, you can go to EC2 and then launch instance. Give it a name. So Linux has different flavors, but in this case, we are going to use Ubuntu. So I'm going to say Ubuntu practice. You can name it anything, and then choose Ubuntu. T2 micro that comes on the free tier, so that would be fine. And you need a key pair, so create one. I'm going to say Ubuntu practice and pem create key pair. So it's going to download a private key and public key. AWS stores public key with them, and then create a security group. Okay, the SSH, that would be fine. Leave everything as is and launch instance. So it's going to be up in few seconds. It's up and running now. So what you can do, click on terminal, in Windows, just open File Explorer, go to downloads, you will have this file here. Then in my case, what I'm going to do, cd means change directory. I'm just going to go to downloads, and then you need to run this command. Click on here, connect SSH client, and just copy this command, this one. Either you can use IP address as well. So let's try with IP address. So here, copy this IP address and then run the command SSH space -i and give that key name. Press tab to autofill. Then username is Ubuntu and give public IP. I think it's gonna give an error. Yes, this is expected because we need to change this key permission. Whatever the key we got, just change permissions. I'm going to explain this command later modules, but just run this command for now. chmod 400 and give that file name. If you want to rerun the commands, just use up arrow for previous commands. Okay, and then run. Now we are inside that machine. Okay, you can see this now. Let's explore these commands now. And this one is pwd. So what does it mean? It shows current directory. That means directory is nothing but we call directory in Linux. In Windows we call folders. So if you want to know where you are in the system now, you just type pwd. So you are inside this directory. So this slash called root. Okay, slash called root directory. So that means everything starts from here only. So that's from the root. Okay, and then if we are here, that means pwd is some people say that present working directory, but it's a print working directory stands for. Okay, pwd stands for print working directory. Print working directory. Okay, and then do ls. What does it do? So if you want to, whatever the files you have in your system, you want to do that, so you just usually go to that folder. You can see there, right? But in Linux, you need to do ls. So we don't have any files here. That's why it doesn't show anything. So if you want to make a file, what you can do, just say just an empty file. Use touch command. Touch test file. Let's do ls again. Now you can see that file. So if you want to see the permissions as well, that who has access to this file, or what are the permissions that file has, you need to do ls-l. L stands for long list. So you can see when it is created, you can see the date, time, and who has the permissions on it, who owns it. I'll explain these users and permission later, but try to understand this ls-l command from now. And if you want to create a directory or folder, so you can do mkdir. That stands for make directory. I'm gonna say make directory DevOps, for instance. If you want to clear this screen, clear means, so if you run this command, it's gonna the cursor is gonna come to end of this terminal. So if you want to go above, just do clear, or else you can press Ctrl L. That's a shortcut. Okay. Now let's do ls-l again. Now we can see DevOps directory. But if you can see how can you identify whether it's a file or directory? So if it is a directory, it usually contains D in front of here. If it is a file, it usually have hyphen. So even you can differentiate with the color coding as well. And if you want to change to this directory, if you want to go to the directory, you can do cd space and the directory name. So I didn't even enter the full name. So I entered cd space capital D and then enter a tab. So if you press tab, if you don't have any files with the starts with the DevOps, it's going to show that folder only. See, let's make another folder. I'm gonna say mkdir DevOps 2, for instance. So if I do ls-l now, we can see a couple of directories here and a file. So if you want to change the cd space, if I press DE and tab now what it does actually, it fills till the it matches DevOps here, then it stopped here. So we need to, if you double press tab, you can say multiple folders starts with the DevOps. Now we can choose which other folder you want to go. If I want to go to, then if I press hyphen, then tab again, then enter. So you are in that directory now. So if you want to, if you can run a pwd to check where you are now. So you are inside this directory now. Okay. If you want to go back one directory, that means we are here now, DevOps 2. If I do ls-l, I don't have any files inside it. So if I want to go back to this directory, what I can do, cd space dot dot. That means just above the one directory. So that it comes over here. If I do ls-l now, you can see everything here. So if you want to remove this directory, what you can run command rm. You can run this command for directories and files as well. But if I run with rm and file directory name, if I do want to do it now, it says you cannot remove DevOps because it's a directory. So that's a directory you can't remove. What you can do, you can add -rf. So make sure while using this command, this is a dangerous command. Once you remove something in Linux, you can't get it back. So there is no reversal. So make sure just use this command with caution. Okay, I'm gonna clear it. If I do ls-l again, now I don't have that directory now. When it comes to file, you can simply say rm space and the file name. It removes. Only for directories, it asks for confirmation. That in that case, you can use -rf. That's a recursively and forcefully. That recursively means everything inside the directory, and use force as well. Now we're done with pwd ls-l, and okay. You imagine if you have a hidden folder or hidden directory in Windows or Mac. We usually have. Then how you hidden directories and folders start with a dot. So if I do touch env.env, that's a command to make a empty file. If I do ls-l now, I don't see that file here because that's an hidden file. Even for hidden directories as well, you can do say secrets, I could say. If I do ls-l, I don't see that file and directory as well. For that, one you need to do, you need to add a for all. So now you can see that hidden files as well, files and directories. Okay, here you can see the secrets and .env. And let's create a file again. Touch just to file. If I do ls-l now, you can see that test file here. And then what I'm going to do, let's add some content to it. Echo, you can say hello Linux. Echo stands for what it does actually. If you run if you type echo and something, it usually echo means it displays everything as is. So here what you can do, you can redirect it. Redirect means you're redirecting this output to some file or directories. Okay, some file actually. So I'm going to do test file. So that means it's gonna append this test.file txt. So if you want to see the content of that file, so we added some content to this file, then how you gonna check? You can use cat command. Yeah, you can see that now. So if you rerun that command echo hello world, echo Linux, then I'm gonna what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna replace with something else like new world. If I rerun it, if I rerun the cat command again, so it's been overridden, right? This test file add hello Linux, now new world. So while using this command, this redirection, just make sure, because it's gonna replace everything inside it. So if you want to append, that means if you want to add a new line to the existing text, what you can do, you can add double arrows. So that means that it's usually gonna append it. So let me say second line. Now if I do cat again, Now you can see the content appended. Append means adding to the next line. We're not replacing it, we're not overriding it, right? So it's appended, so this double arrows append it. And just imagine in log files you usually have huge lines. So if I look for cat where, that's the path where we usually have logs inside this where like directory. I'm going to explain this later, but just try to understand it now. So if I do cat, so it contains these many lines. So sometimes it usually have many more lines, so maybe 1,000 lines. So how you gonna how you gonna if you want just top 10 lines or last 10 lines, how you gonna see? So in that case, what you can do, you can use a tail command. Tail usually prints last 10 lines, okay? Last 10 lines of that file. Log or dot log. So it printed last 10 lines, okay? If you want top 10 lines, what you can do, you can use ed command. It stands for the top 10 lines from the beginning. /var log auth.log. So it gives a top 10 line. And you can use a list command as well. So this list command shows the page by page. So what you can do, you need to press space. Actually, enter, I think. Yeah, you can enter to go to the next page. It's just got a couple of pages, that's fine. Maybe if I look for the message, let me see. Where is that has? Just forget the path. I think var log only a system. Yeah, the message and log. So it contains user, and so here you can enter. You can press space to go to the next one. So in this, just imagine this file has a huge line. So you can see page by page with the list command, okay? And then you got more command as well. More log the message. So here you can see how much percentage of this whole page you have read, this whole file. So you can see that percentage here. So it's more or less to the list command. So, and then you can have file command. So if I do ls-l now, file the command space, give this file or directory name. If I do test file, so it shows what type of file it is. So let's check for directory. So it says that it's a directory. So just in order to see the file type, so you can see that you can use file space and the file name, and then you can use stat as well. Stat shows that it does it have any links. Links are nothing but in simple words, shortcuts, okay? So it has any links, and it has a inodes, that's a physical space inside the disk. So it shows all of these details. So that's all for this video. Just practice them. Linux is more important. So you don't need to be learn everything about the Linux, but you need to learn the commands as a DevOps or a cloud. You need to what commands you use day to day. So I'm gonna make this one as a series. So it's gonna be around 7 to 10 videos, but it usually under 15 minutes or 20 minutes, okay, the length. And just practice these commands. Just create a Linux machine on AWS, and then try to run these commands and practice it. Trust me, Linux is easy. Just don't afraid with the terminal, okay? Just practice it. Trust me, you're gonna learn everything about the Linux, most of the commands, and then you will be you'll be happy to use only this terminal once you get used to it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and share. Thanks again.